Okay, so I thought we'd try and start today's class a little differently. We're focused on the hamstrings, and there's a little bit of stretching we can do on our back. So why don't we start today on our back? And you can have your legs straight if that's comfortable for you. Many people will be more comfortable like this with their knees bent. So up to you. You know, if you want to do one of these, that's fine too. But let's start our breathing, but we'll just start on our back. So we're going to come onto our back. And just close your eyes. And we'll start with the three-part breathing that we normally do. And it's actually can be easier to learn this on our back. So if you've ever had trouble with that, you can just start with your hand on your belly. And then breathe in a way where your hand is moving as much as possible. So on the inhale, the hand comes up. And on the exhale, the hand drops down toward the ground. And this is called belly breathing. It may feel awkward or unnatural at first, but it's actually a very natural way to breathe, very healthy way to breathe. So we're kind of designed, humans are designed to breathe from their belly. A lot of us hold our belly in, but that's not actually good for us. So just take a few breaths like that, and then you can take your other hand, whichever hand it is, and just place it right on your lowest ribs. And see if you can get it so that this hand moves up and then this hand moves up in that order. Separate them as much as you can. Again, may take a little bit of practice, might be a little awkward at first. And then once you feel you've got that as good as you can, so again, it may not be perfect today, that's okay. Then take this hand and place it on top. And see if you can again fill the belly, then the ribs, and then you lift the upper chest. Then you reverse that. So again, this is called three-part breathing. Great way to really bring our lungs to almost full capacity. So that's the point of this. That's why we do it in that way. Okay, sometimes it's called three-part yogic breathing or dirga. So we just start with that breathing, and then we'll add that ocean sound. So again, I know these are techniques that you know. It's just good to go over them every now and then. So ocean sound at the back of the throat, we're creating that. Okay, it doesn't have to be that loud, just loud enough that you can hear it, you know it's there. It actually should be very meditative, kind of a just relaxing sound or drone in the background. Okay, then we're going to begin working our legs. So just bring one leg in. Let's start with the right leg. Okay, so we bring our right leg in, just move it around a little bit. Now we're not going for any intense stretch. We'll stretch more intensely later. But just moving it around, noticing what you feel, especially on the back side. So back here and here. Some people, this will be an intense stretch for them. So it really isn't designed to be, but it may be for you. Okay, so we'll move it around a little bit. And then let's take the leg like so, and then we'll just begin playing around with straightening that leg and see how that feels. Notice how my knee moves away from my chest as I straighten it, and that's because the hamstrings attach at the knee joint. So as I straighten my knee joint, I'm pulling the slack out of my hamstrings, and as the hamstrings get tight, it pulls my knee away from my body. Okay, so that's what's happening there. Okay, and then the final thing I can do is actually grab that foot. And this is a little more intense, so, you know, decide whether or not you want to go there. For me, it feels kind of good. And again, you'll notice I'm not holding a stretch. I'm just gently moving a bit. Let's bring the other leg in, same idea. We start with the gentlest, easiest of these three. Just trying to wake up the hip joint a bit and the hamstrings a bit, what we call our extensor muscles. That includes the glutes. Okay, and then I can hold back here and I can begin playing around with straightening the leg. How does that feel? Do I feel any soreness or stiffness? I definitely do. Okay, so that's just me. Again, I'm trying to report a little more on my own experience so that maybe you'll understand what I'm talking about. People have very different levels of body awareness. So sometimes when you say something like breathe into that area or feel the stretch, some people really don't know what I'm talking about. It really is confusing for them. So sometimes if I explain what I'm feeling, then they may be like, oh, okay, I feel that. Okay, so again, just enjoy that stretch a bit, however intense you want it to be. Not intense is fine. Okay, and then from there, we'll roll on up to seated and come forward into our tabletop. And we'll begin warming up the spine as usual, a little cat-cow. Now we should still be breathing in the same way, okay? So we're not trying to change our breathing. Still slow, rhythmic, very deep. I'm actually probably moving too fast here because I'm talking. So, coordinate the breath with your movement. Don't rush. Take your time. Really luxuriate in the sensations. Also feel stiffness in my abdomen from a core workout I did. Okay, so that back and forth movement, cat-cow. I'm beginning to feel that tension release in my abdomen. So that's probably about it. And then I'll come back to neutral, bring my knees together, take a nice deep breath and exhale. So, we have a limited time together. So I may not do as many of these as you need. You're welcome to do more, but at a certain point I just have to move on. The ideal is that we do as many as we can until we no longer really feel a significant change. So very often the first few are really juicy. We feel like, ooh, if we have some stiffness or soreness there. And then after a while you keep doing it and you may still feel something, but it doesn't feel like anything is really happening. There's not much change, and that's kind of where I am now. So I'll come back to neutral, and then I'll bring my hands together, and then same thing. I inhale, sweep this arm up, exhale. Yeah, so on that left side, I definitely am feeling it. So hopefully as I repeat the movement, I feel less and less resistance to the movement. I feel that part of my body is more and more open. And again, even if it's not perfect, the last time, I've sort of noticed that I'm not getting much more from repeating the movement. And again, that's kind of where I am now. So I'll stop. Again, you're welcome to do a few more if you like. And then I come into the down dog. And interestingly, I already can feel that we did those leg stretches. So this is for the legs here. And I can already feel the effects of those. So I'm feeling more open in my legs than I normally would at this stage or point. Your mileage may vary. Okay, we'll come into our down dog. So as usual, hands about shoulder width. We're drawing that chest back toward the toes, feet are hip distance, and heels reach toward the ground. Let's check in our breathing. It should still be deep, rhythmic, and slow. Again, many of you know I've been working with a shoulder injury, so I'm feeling it today a little bit. It has been getting better and better and better. But if you've been following my journey, it's a slow, you have to be patient. It's a very slow progress, but there is progress. So I'm happy to report that. And I fully expect one day to be completely healed. All right, with our exhale, let's walk our feet back to our hands. And we'll do the ragdoll, which is a gentle stretch for the back of the body. So nodding or shaking the head, bending the knees, swaying the hips, just loosening up that backside very gently. All of these are a great way to just check the condition of your body. So if there's an injury or something to note, hopefully these beginning movements tell us what we need to know. We may have to modify our practice a bit. Okay, we inhale and come on up. And now we begin our sun salutations. These are still technically part of our warm-up, but they're more vigorous. So we kind of need to warm up before we do our sun salutations, at least ideally, in my opinion. Just want to stretch out a little bit, wake up a little bit. Okay, feet touching. We inhale, arms up, touch palms, lift the heart, and we exhale to our forward fold. Palms flat, neck relaxed, knees bent if necessary. Inhale to the fingertips or hands to shins, so nice straight spine there. And we exhale, plant the hands and step to the top of a push-up. So plank pose, ears, shoulders, hips, knees, heels all align. Okay? All right, make sure those wrists are directly below the shoulders. Make sure the shoulders are engaged. Take a nice deep breath. Let's drop those knees for this first one. No cheating on the arms. Try and come down about halfway. Elbows hug the ribs. And then with the next exhale, come the rest of the way down. Inhale to a cobra, Bhujangasana. Good. Exhale, lower down, press back, tabletop, and then down dog. Now, I recommend for that first cobra, you keep your hip points down. It's not meant to be a super deep back bend. Cobra can be, but that one just isn't meant. It's not designed for that. It's not our intention at that point in our practice. Okay, let's inhale to the toes. Exhale, front edge of our mat. We inhale to our standing back bend. Let's grab that right wrist and we'll just do our first side stretch. Just gentle, not too much. Inhale to center. Exhale, again, just a gentle side stretch. Inhale back to center. And we exhale to the forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, top of the push-up. So again, at this stage, we're not looking to hold anything too long. We're not looking to go too deep. Let's take a nice deep breath. If you can, keep the knees up this time. Again, halfway down. Inhale, arms and legs, up dog. So this is probably our deepest back bend yet. And then exhale, both feet at the same time, hips up and back, down dog. Both feet so you save your SI joint, okay? Get in the habit. It's very hard to go over one foot and alternate. It's almost impossible to remember. Okay, from here, let's do one more. We inhale to those toes. Exhale, front edge of our mat. Inhale to our standing back bend. We exhale to our half moon. Maybe a little deeper as we warm up. Nothing wrong with that, as the body naturally allows us to go further. And then we exhale to our chair pose. Okay, I'm going to turn. All right, so I try and bring those knees back over my heels, hips down, but then I'm keeping my shoulders up. So sometimes I see people in a chair like that. You don't really sit in a chair like that, do you? So it's much more like this. Good, let's inhale to our back bend and exhale to forward fold. Inhale to the half lift and exhale. If you can, bottom of the push-up. We inhale to our up dog. Feel free to repeat the cobra. And then if you're able, exhale, push up on your way back out. Good. So I don't know about you, but I'm definitely feeling the heat. Okay? That may just be my nature, though, is I tend to sweat really quickly and easily with a little bit of movement. Now, unless we're doing hot yoga, we don't really want to be dripping sweat. If you are, then you may be exerting a little bit too much. I know this is a challenging and strenuous class, but We're still looking to keep our breath smooth and deep, relaxed, and we're not really looking to, like, you know, floor ourselves. We're not really looking to feel like we just did a super hard workout, okay? I know a lot of people think that that's what they want from their yoga, but if you want to work out, like, go do a workout. Yoga's a little different. It's meant to be a little different. Okay, so from here, let's bring our feet to touch. Inhale, right leg, three-legged dog. Okay, so the foot is flexed, the toes, knee, and hip point down. We try and keep that right hip down while lifting the right leg as much as possible. Not that easy to actually do. Good. As we exhale, let's lunge. And then we'll inhale to our low lunge. This is a posture we do a lot in this class. So the hips are forward and down. Front foot and knee straight ahead. You notice the heel is under the knee. Okay? Just about. And those arms are up and back. Good. From here, we're going to exhale, hands down. We rock the hips back, generally over the knee, and we take this leg and we straighten it out, and we want to feel stretch here. Okay, so this is the main thing today that we want to feel. Now we're going to flow those two postures together. Okay, so we inhale, come up, and they don't have to be perfect, so don't worry if your alignment isn't perfect. Just don't hurt yourself, and make sure you feel this stretch. Ideally, when you come forward, you feel a stretch in the front of your left hip. But if you don't, it's okay. That's not an area that we're focusing on today. Good. It's 2. We're going to do 3 more, so just 5 of these. I feel both. So when I come back, I feel my right hamstring. When I come forward, I feel my hip flexors. I think that's 3, so a couple more. Hamstrings. Now again, this is called dynamic stretching, and I'm not trying to force anything. I'm not doing my deepest stretching here. Just gently trying to coax my body to release any superficial tension that's still living there. Okay, we've already stretched that area a little bit on our back, right? So hopefully the body is beginning to adapt. It's beginning to say, okay, we need this part to be open, flexible. Okay, feet touch. We inhale, left leg up and back. Foot is flexed, toes, knee, and hip down. Okay, we're lifting it nice and high. Breath is still deep, rhythmic, and slow. This alignment will come back later, as it often does, so I really want you to get it here. Good, let's exhale as we lunge. And we inhale to our low lunge on Vinyasa, right? So again, the stretch would be here, but it's not that important today. So if you're not really feeling it or it's not too intense, don't worry about it. Let's exhale, hands down, we rock back. I do recommend you start this way, so see if you can get that hip over. Flex this foot. Flexing the foot brings the stretch down here, okay, which we want, and we got the stretch here. All right, now let's see if we can flow these two together. So inhale and exhale. Right, that's 1. Inhale, right hip. And exhale, left hamstrings, back of the thigh. 3 more times. Two more. And last one, hopefully our deepest one so far without straining, right? Without forcing anything. Good. We inhale back up and we exhale to the bottom of our push-up. Again, you'll see me skipping them because I don't want to run out of breath. That is a thing that happens when I teach because I'm talking the whole time. So, okay, from here, we'll exhale to our tabletop. We're going to take a look at a posture called the bird dog. Nice core back strengthener. So, very simple. We Inhale, right leg goes back. Notice my toes are on the ground. And the key to doing this properly is not to drop or lift the hip as I lift the leg. It's actually harder than it sounds. Exhale that knee in and inhale left leg. Okay, so side to side with the breath. Just at your own pace. You don't have to count. It's not important how many you do exactly. Now, many of you have heard me say this in the past, but it's a great visual. Imagine you have a cup of tea resting right here, and your objective is to lift the leg without spilling the tea, right? So you're trying to stabilize your pelvis in relation to your thorax, which is your rib cage. So this is all about these muscles here. It may not seem like it. It might seem like you're, oh, I'm moving my leg. It has very little to do with your leg, actually. It has to do with these muscles here. But only if we try and stabilize the pelvis. If we let the pelvis move up and down, left and right, then we're not activating these muscles, okay? Okay, make your way back to down dog. You can vinyasa if you're not hot, if you're not winded, or if you are, you just go straight back. Okay, let's inhale to the toes. We're going to exhale, front edge of the mat. Let's inhale up to standing back bend and exhale our hands to the hips. Now we're going to work on a series of standing balance postures today called Tittibhasana Padangustasana. And we're going to look at a preparation first, okay? So I bend my right knee, and I bring that leg up, and I can hold below the knee. Now this may be as far as some of you go, as far as this posture goes today, and that's fine, all right? The way to do this, if you're going to keep the knee bent today, is to hold the shin like that, have your left hand at the hip. But right now we're just going to do a little test. So we're going to hold behind the knee, and then we see, can I straighten my leg without pain in my back or pain right here? This is called your ischial tuberosity. It's also known as your sits bones. So if you've been abusing your hamstrings, you may feel a pain there. Then I don't recommend you straighten out that leg today. Okay, I recommend you do this with your knee bent. Let's try the left side. Same thing. Also with your back, okay? So some people, they straighten the leg and, oh, my back, I feel it on my back. We don't want to feel that. Where we want to feel it is right here. This is the belly of the muscle. That's what we're trying to stretch. That's where we want to feel it. Not at the buttocks, not at the knee, not in our back, okay? So again, if you're feeling it in any of those areas, I recommend knee is bent. Okay, let's continue on. Inhale. Standing back bend, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, and we exhale right to the bottom of the push-up if you can. Inhale, up dog or cobra, and exhale, a push-up on your way back to down dog. All right, let's bring our feet to touch. We're going to inhale the right leg up and back, three-legged dog, and we exhale the knee high up on the arm. Let's take a breath. Okay, keep the face relaxed. Good. Inhale that leg up and back. Exhale as you lunge. Inhale to a low lunge, and then exhale to a half triangle. So we've already learned both of these postures. Now what I'm looking for is a stretch here. We're going to hold it this time, because holding a stretch has a different effect than moving. So we're going to hold it. Now, for some of you, this is not a good stretch. You just don't feel much. So that's you. You do this, this is my best split. Pretty pathetic, huh? But this is essentially what you're going to do. You take your legs wider, and you could even put a block under here and support your hip with a block. Now, some people like to come up when they do a split, but we're not doing that today. We're coming forward because that emphasizes the front leg. It's the front leg we're stretching here. So again, slow, deep breathing tells your body to relax into this stretch. Otherwise, your body fights you. It says, no, that's too much. And it tries to protect the muscle. So you're telling your nervous system that it's okay and that it can relax. It doesn't need to guard against the stretch. You do that with your breathing. Can't do that mentally. Okay, let's inhale back to our low lunge, and we exhale bottom of the push-up. Again, I'm going to skip this one. Side 2, feet touch. We inhale left leg. Exhale, knee high up on the arm. Let's breathe. Good. We inhale that leg up and back. And we exhale as we lunge. Let's inhale to our low lunge. And exhale, half triangle, right? Now, I'm getting plenty of stretch here. I actually don't need to go any further. I have tight hamstrings, relatively speaking. But since I did the split to demonstrate on the first side, I'm going to do it again here, just to be consistent. So you may look at me and say, he doesn't have tight hamstrings. Well, I mean, relatively speaking, because I have students who have much more open hamstrings than I do. So maybe compared to your average American male, I may have open hamstrings. And this is probably my limit, more or less. It's probably about as far as I can go. I've been stretching them a long time. I don't expect to get too much more flexible. There might be a little bit left in there. I've heard it does take decades to stretch the hamstrings out. So if you've been stretching them for a while, keep going. Might be surprised. Okay, let's inhale back to our low lunge, and we exhale bottom of the push-up, making our way to down dog. Okay, from our down dog, let's go ahead and exhale to our tabletop. Let's take a look at the basic bird dog. So the first one we did was a really easy version. Now what we'd like to do is actually lift the leg straight back. Exhale, inhale, lift the leg, and same idea. Imagine the cup of tea there. So again, a lot of yoga is easy to do if you're doing it wrong, right? Look at how high I can bring my leg. Wow, look, I'm doing such a good job. No, you're not, because you're not paying attention. So again, awareness is always first. I can't know I'm doing something wrong if I have no awareness, okay? If I force you to close your eyes and draw a picture, it's going to be a horrible picture. It's going to be awful because you have no awareness of what you're drawing. Now again, some people have very little body awareness. You can tell a whole class of people, straighten your knee, and there may be 1 to 3 people in that class still with their knee bent. And then you go and ask them if they have an injury, why is your knee bent? And they didn't even know their knee was bent, okay? They may not have been listening, or they just may not have even known that their body was doing that. Okay, let's go ahead and come on back to our down dog. And from our down dog, we inhale to the toes and exhale, front edge of our mat. We inhale up to standing back bend, exhale, hands to hips. Let's take a look at our first version of Tittibhasana. So the feet are touching, I shift weight to my left foot. And again, if during the test, my hamstring, my butt, my knee, my back hurt, then I'm going to do it like this today. I'm going to just focus on my balance mostly. If you want a deeper stretch, you can try hugging that leg. That might give you a little more stretch. You could also play around with this, see at what point the pain comes in, and maybe just stop shy of that. But if you're able, reach down, grab the big toe, And with an exhale, extend the leg. You should feel stretch in the back of that right thigh. Notice that my back is straight, my leg is straight, and I don't have pain anywhere. Very important. Some people can pull the leg up higher, but again, I don't have the most open hamstrings, so this is about it for me. Okay, to release, we try and keep the leg lifted. We inhale that arm up, and we exhale the arm and the leg. Side 2, same thing. Okay, you decide what is appropriate for you today, okay? I can't do that for you. Even if I could see you, I might be able to make suggestions, but I don't really believe in babysitting adults. I don't think it's appropriate. I think as adults, we need to make our own mind up about what is safe for us and not. I can always give you my opinion. I might have an opinion about it, but it doesn't mean I'm right. Okay, again, we try and keep that leg lifted. Inhale the arm and exhale the arm and the leg. Good, so let's do a back bend. So we inhale, just kind of release everything. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, and exhale, bottom of the push-up. Making your way to down dog. Again, if you don't have to skip those, please don't. They are part of the practice and they are very, very good for us. So please don't skip if you don't need to. Okay, feet touch. Inhale, right leg up and back. And then exhale, lunge. Bring both hands inside of the foot and then drop down for lizard. So lizard is like a very low lunge. You could keep the back knee up or down, doesn't really matter. They're more or less the same. I may be getting a little deeper stretch with my knee down, so I'm going to have mine down. And the stretches in this leg, where exactly, just kind of depends on your body. But we're releasing tension between the leg and the torso. That's what this does. So we're opening up fascial connective tissue tension between the thigh and the torso within the hip joint. So again, usually going to feel that in our leg. Good. And then we'll bring our hands back to the ground. We inhale to that three-legged dog pose. Exhale as we lunge. And then let's inhale to crescent lunge. This is another one we do a lot in this class. It's a great basis for a lot of other work. Okay, so the front foot and knee are pointing straight ahead. All right, the knee lunges directly over the heel. Back heel is raised, arms are straight up and back. This front thigh is working, the back leg is stretching. Good, let's take a nice deep breath and we exhale, bottom of the push-up. So we make our way to down dog. Feet touching, we inhale left leg up and back. Exhale as we lunge. Both hands inside the leg. And then again, you may have to stay here. You may be able to come down or maybe put your elbows on some blocks. And then some people will even have to walk their elbows forward to feel the stretch. So you're dropping down, dropping your torso down more and more and more until you feel that, again, the tension between the hip joint and the torso. So this is a deep flexion for your femur, if to talk in more anatomical terms. So at a certain point, when you flex your femur enough, you should feel it, and that's what we're getting into here. Okay, so again, a few breaths usually gives your body the signal to go ahead and relax the tension. And you know, we could stay there for 5 minutes like yin, but we don't, that's not really the style of class we're doing. So let's inhale that leg up and back. Exhale as we lunge. And we inhale to our crescent lunge. All right, now we're mostly learning this posture today as a setup for other things. It's a great posture in its own. All right, so front foot and knee straight ahead. Again, that left thigh approaching parallel. Right leg is nice and straight. So I see a lot of this in classes. So straighten that leg out, press that heel back. It's not this, okay? It's this. I'm pressing the heel back. It's like a down dog. Good. Exhale, bottom of the push-up, making your way to down dog. Speaking of down dog. All right, great work. From here, we exhale to tabletop. Okay, so as usual, feel free to stick with variations that you find particularly challenging, but I imagine most of you are not challenged by these bird dogs yet. So this time, if possible, inhale the right heel and then the left arm. So diagonal. Exhale. Now same thing, except now we want the shoulders also stable. So again, it's not about the leg or the arm. That is just creating instability, right? When we have 4 limbs on the ground, it's a very stable position. When we lift one of those limbs, it destabilizes that part of our body. And that forces our core right in here, the abdomen, the back, it forces those muscles to engage and to work if we're doing this properly. But again, if I'm not paying attention and I'm doing it like this, then it's not going to do that. Okay? So again, it's a lot of yoga if we're just moving willy-nilly, we're not paying attention, we're not listening, you're going to get very little out of it. Because a lot of yoga, the benefits come from paying attention and these subtle changes that we make. So it's not just throw yourself around. You're not going to get much from it that way. Okay, let's come on back to our downward dog. And from our down dog, we'll inhale to the toes, exhale to the front edge of the mat. Inhale up to our standing back bend, and we exhale hands to hips. Let's take another look at Tittibhasana. So I'm going to mirror you, okay? So you shift weight to your left foot, bend your right knee, and then you bring that leg up, and again, for some of you, you're just going to hold the shin. Okay, so for you, this will look like this. The posture will look like this. Okay, you bring it out to the side. For those of you who are straightening the leg, who plan to straighten the leg, again, sit up nice and tall, and then exhale, extend the leg straight. Take a nice deep breath, and with the next exhale, bring it out to the side. Okay? Bring the opposite arm, which is your left arm, out to the left, and look over your left fingertips if you can. Good. Let's inhale back to center, and we exhale and release that. Same thing on the other side. Inhale back and exhale, release. Inhale, standing back bend, which should be a nice counter stretch to what we just did. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, and exhale, bottom of the push-up. Okay, beautiful work. Let's bring those feet to touch. We'll inhale the right leg up and back. Exhale, lunge. Bring both hands inside of the foot. Take your right leg and put it over your right shoulder like a backpack. Now, some people simply can't do that. So just try your best, okay? Then look up and try and lift your right heel. Okay, now again, you can see my leg won't go straight. That's because, relatively speaking, I have tight hamstrings. Many people can't even lift the heel at all, though. So again, don't feel bad if you can't, but still try to do it. Inhale that leg up and back. Exhale as you lunge. Inhale to crescent. And exhale to warrior three. So left leg is like three-legged dog. Foot flexed, toe, knee, and hip pointing down. Leg parallel with the ground. Torso parallel. And arms parallel. I see people doing all kinds of stuff in class, like hands at their heart. If you have a shoulder injury, that's fine, but that's not the pose. The pose is arms out, framing the ears, okay? So we don't want to change things just because, oh, I like this better. Usually we like it better because it's easier. But exhale, bottom the push-up. The point is not to make the class super easy. Okay, that's not why we do yoga, so we can do something that's easy. When we do things that challenge our body adapts. And this is generally desirable. It's what we want from our practice. Okay, feet touch. Inhale, left leg. Exhale, let's go ahead and lunge. Both hands inside of the leg. And we look up. We try and lift that leg. Again, even if I can't, by trying, it creates adaptations in the body. The body begins to change in a good way, as long as we don't strain. So try, but not too hard. Be gentle. Good. Let's inhale that leg up and back. Exhale as we lunge. We inhale to a crescent lunge. And as gracefully as we can, we take a warrior three. So if you've never done this, it may be beneficial sometimes to actually film yourself. So maybe one day set up your phone and film the whole class. See what your poses look like. Okay? Maybe you can see on your own computer. I don't know. Okay, exhale, bottom the push-up, make our way back to down dog. It's not that we always want to be looking at ourselves, because the most important thing, again, isn't how it looks. But occasionally, a little bit of visual feedback can be very helpful. All right, deep breath in, we exhale, tabletop. And now we come to elevated bird dog. This is where bird dog really starts getting challenging. So tuck toes, lift the knees. Notice I'm not doing this. This is way easier. So just knees off the ground. And then inhale, right leg, exhale. Same idea. It's easy if I let my pelvis waggle around. It's much harder if I don't. And it gets much harder if I lift the opposite arm. You can see I immediately start losing it. But again, I'm not trying to impress anybody here. I'm not trying to show how perfect I am. So I don't care if I'm wobbling around, because that's how my body learns. That's how I create those advantageous adaptations. Not by trying to pretend like I'm doing everything perfectly all the time, okay? It's actually when things get difficult or messy that those adaptations are created. It's not when we're doing everything perfect. So in order to improve or even maintain health, we need to get to that point where it starts to get a little messy, and that's where we want to be, where it's a little bit messy. That's called an edge. Okay, making our way back to downward dog. So for most people, that is an edge, that version of bird dog. From here, let's inhale to our toes. Exhale, front edge of the mat. Let's inhale up to our standing back bend. Exhale, hands to hips. So again, if I'm a knee bent person because of injury or other factors, this is how I'll do the pose today. Okay, twisting back. Otherwise, shift weight to your left foot, bend the right knee. I like to grab the outside of the foot for this one, and it's with my left hand this time, okay? So inhale up and exhale, take a twist, looking back over your right shoulder. So this is a powerful stretch for my glutes. I feel it in the outside of my right hip. Good, let's inhale back and we exhale, release. So again, you may be able to do that with the toe. I usually grab the foot instead. I could try it with my toe. I don't know, I feel like it's kind of awkward. You don't get as good a grip, but it's possible. Good, inhale back and exhale, release that posture. Inhale, standing back bend. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, and exhale, bottom of the push-up. Make your way to down dog. Okay, we're in our home stretch, so we are coming to our most challenging variations. Again, a lot of times this is where those advantageous adaptations are created, when we are doing stuff that we can't do perfectly well or even at all, just by trying to do them. But again, when we try, we're not pushing. Okay, so I want to make that clear. Try gently. Try compassionately. Try without frustration, without anger, without force. Okay? Okay, feet touch. Inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale, the knee high up on your arm, straighten the leg, and lift the back leg up. Okay, that's called Ekapada Kondyanasana, first variation. Good. It's an arm balance. It's not the easiest one, so you may not be able to do it. It's okay. Exhale and lunge. Inhale to crescent lunge. Good. Exhale to a warrior three. Take a nice deep breath there, and then exhale to standing splits. So back leg points up. Both legs are straight. I walk my hands toward the standing leg, and you may be able to grab that leg with one or both hands, okay? Good, so you're breathing there. So again, some people can do this and this leg is straight up. Again, my hamstring's relatively tight. Good. Exhale, make your way back to down dog. So that's what I generally consider open hamstrings, is someone who could get both legs straight there. Let's try the other side. So we inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, high up on the arm, straighten the leg, look up, not down, lift that back leg. Good. Inhale the leg up and back. Exhale, lunge. Inhale to crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior three. Good, take a deep breath. I'm having a little trouble balancing, that's okay. And exhale, standing splits. So you can see one side's a little better than the other. That's common, very typical. But this is the best that I can do. Good, deep breath in. Exhale, bottom of the push-up. Make your way to down dog. Okay, from here, let's take one last look at bird dog. So this one's done from a plank position. I inhale, one leg lifts up, exhale down. Again, even though I'm lifting the leg, I'm not trying to lift the hip, right? Which would look like that. Very easy to do that. Okay, so I'm not doing that. Looks like this. Now again, if I want it to get messy, then I lift the opposite arm. And I do want it to get messy. Okay, that's when my body really learns. So usually by the end of the week, if I've been doing this all week teaching, I'm much better at it by the end of the week, okay? So again, that's an example of how our bodies learn and adapt. Try that. Maybe put it on your calendar. All this week, try the bird dog, the hard ones, the ones that challenge you, and see if by the end of the week, you're not much better at it. Okay, let's take one last look at Tittibhasana, firefly, another arm balance. So it's like putting the ones we did together into one pose. So go ahead and stand up. Take your feet about hip distance. Inhale and exhale to a forward fold. Now bend those knees and take your legs like you were putting on a backpack. Okay? Then place your hands behind your feet like you're replacing your feet. So your toes and fingers point forward, right? Drop the hips down, look up, and then shift your weight back. You'll feel your toes get light and lift up. Then just try straightening them as much as you can. Okay, and that's called a firefly pose. Tittibhasana is the name of that one. Okay, again, my legs don't go all the way straight. Just do your best. That's what's important. And then when you're done with that, come into a child pose. Just relax, catch your breath. Again, I'm kind of right on the verge of going a little too far in terms of pushing myself. And that's just, again, because of the teaching, having a talk instead of breathing. So hopefully you're not there. If you're doing the class, then you get to that point, just take a child pose at any time. Seriously. So again, it's about bringing ourselves to an edge, but we're not trying to push too hard. We're just trying to do stuff that is challenging, it's difficult, it's not necessarily easy or familiar, but we're not trying to like push through something, okay? Okay, let's do a little side stretch here. Take a nice deep breath. Arms extend out in front of you. Exhale, walk those hands as far over to the left as you can. Feel that stretch in your right waist and ribs. Good, let's inhale back to center. Exhale off to the other side. Good, let's inhale back to center. We exhale onto our belly. So let's do a few back bends. First one is Shalabhasana, so the arms are out at the sides, palms down, mouth, chin, or forehead on the mat. And very simply, inhale, lift everything you can lift. Try and get those thighs up, try and get those ribs up. Lift those arms. Good, take a deep breath, exhale, come on down. Turn your head to one side. Good, let's do another variation of that. So take those hands behind you, interlace the fingers, join the palms. If you can't, use a strap or a towel. Try and straighten the arms if you can. And then inhale, again, lift the legs, lift the arms, and see if you can come up a little higher, lifting those arms, and feel that stretch on the front of the chest. The compression between the shoulder blades. This is a nice shoulder stretch. And again, usually we can come up a little bit higher with this one. Good. Exhale, come on down. Turn the head to the opposite side. Relax. Okay. Now for the hardest one, potentially, swing those arms out in front of us like we're diving in a pool. And then inhale, lift up. Now, we don't want the arms in front. We want them up. So try lifting them up alongside your ears. Lift those legs. Good. Exhale, come on down. Turn the head to the opposite side. Now, maybe you think, because I teach yoga, I've been doing yoga a long time, that this means that these are easy for me. They are not. There are many postures that never get really easy, at least not for me. Okay? So practice makes progress. It doesn't necessarily mean it ever gets perfect or easy. Okay, let's press back from there. Cross those ankles, and we'll make our way back onto our back. Let's bring those legs in, give them a nice squeeze. Okay, and then you can also grab your feet, do a little bit of a happy baby. Take those legs out a bit. If you need to do a twist, you can. But whenever you're ready, unwind onto your back. I don't really feel like I need one, actually. Those back bends are not very deep. Whenever you're ready, just unwind onto your back. Palms up, head centered, chin tucked in slightly, eyes closed. Set a timer for 6 minutes. And as usual, just try and let your body be still and relax for the next 6 minutes.